Okay, let's take these ones up. Number one, the sum of two consecutive natural numbers is 469. What are the numbers? So let me set this up first. So I'm not so picky on let statements, but for the first couple, we'll keep doing our let statement so that we get used to it, and then you can skip it if you want. So for example, right here, let x be the first number. Then what would the next consecutive be? X plus 1. Excellent. You will see questions like this. Okay? You will. It's going to be like, what is the sum of three consecutive numbers? What is the sum of two consecutive even numbers? And so forth. Um, this beginning part, we're just going to stick with one variable. So just the x. So when we add it up, because it's at sum, we have x plus 1 equals 469. From before the break, we know that we should collect the like terms. So x plus x is 2x. Move that 1 over to the other side, so we get 2x equals 468. When we divide it by 2, we get x is 234. If I write this as my final answer, will I get full marks? Why not? Basil? Right, the second number, which is one more, so it's 235. Good. What about the second one? What would my two, so if my first one is let the first number be x, what would my second one be? Kavya? X plus 7. That's right. Okay, and then because again it's sum, I just have to write x plus 7 equals 133. Okay. By the way, what are the two numbers? Jeffrey? 63 and 70. Good. Okay, and to check, 63 plus 70 does give me 133. Excellent. Okay, this one is a little trickier because it's not just like this, more than that. It's Kelly is twice as old as Luke. Together, their age add up to this. So here, instead of saying let K represents Kelly's age, this is your sentence. I want to use the later part of that sentence as my variable. So I'm going to instead let L be Luke's age. And so if Kelly is twice as old, that means 2L is Kelly's age. Okay, so this is the trick, to use the second part of the sentence as your variable. Okay, so what would my equation be? Fazil?
L plus 2L, bracket 2L.
Yep. And then it's an equation, so I need that equal 36, right? Because without that equal sign, it's not, I can't solve it. Okay, so then 3L equals 36. So therefore L equals 12. If I write L equals 12, would I get full marks? What should it say?
Since Luke is 1L, it will be 12. And then since Kelly's 2L, it will be
Okay, but you still lost half a mark there. Johnson?
yeah, which is.
Oh, it's a separate 10.
Oh, 24
Years old, right? Your unit. It's a word problem, so you need the units. Okay. If you just wrote L equals 12, you would have lost 1.5 marks, because one for the half a mark for units and 1 mark for not answering the second half of the question. Okay. So sum of three numbers is 40. So if x is the first number, what is the second number? What expression? The second number is 4 times the first. Cheryl?
4x.
4x. And then what about the third? The third is 10 more than the first. Yep.
X plus 10.
X plus 10. That's it. And then the sum of them, which means add them all up, you get equals 40. Okay. Yeah. Sure. You can answer it outside. Alright. Thank you for asking. This one, at the end of the season, they were the leading scorer, so scored 2 more goals than Ali. So again, using the second half of the sentence as your variable. So you want to let A be Ali's goals. All right. So then Saul's would be A plus 2. Right. And then, so if they scored a total of 44 goals, that means you have this. So when you solve it, you get A equals 21. Again, is this my final answer? No, why not?
Because he scored 2 more goals.
Right. Yeah, the question is not asking how many Ali scored, it's how many Saul scored. So Saul scored 23, right? So Saul scored 23 goals. Now, I asked this in my morning class as well. Any soccer player here? Anybody play soccer? Okay, Jared, how many people on the field? 11, right? So, the, one of them is the goalie. Goalie don't usually score, okay? And even the others might not score. So, as an extension to this question, what is the minimum number of goals Sal could score? All right, so think about that. We'll take this one up at the end of class. Uh, whoever gets this right, I have a treat for them. Candy or chocolate, something. Minimum. What is the minimum number of goals scored by Saul? Okay, so think about. Yeah, this is a contest type question.
No, context.
Context? You have the question. So now my secondary question is, what is the minimum number of goals Sal has to score? Okay, for this to still be true. All right, so think about it. You have the question. Yeah, because there are other people in the team on the team.
Wait, you just have to score 44 goals.
So the team scored 44.
As you put into it.
Yeah. There are 11 people on the team. All right, so think about that. We'll take that up at the end of class. If you have the answer, write it out, show me, and you'll see. I'll see if you guys get that treat. Okay, last one I wanted to take up, number 9 right here. Uh, let me just erase this really quickly. Okay. So just reading the question. The length of a rectangle is 10 centimeters more than the width. Okay, so again, the width, that means this is my variable W. So my length would be 10 plus W. So this is what I see all the time. Okay, width plus 10 plus width equals 32. Okay, what's wrong with what I wrote here? James? No, I have the length. 10 plus W is the length. Yep, Isabel? Right. So that's why sometimes it's helpful to draw the diagram. Then you know there's actually 4 sides. If you don't draw the diagram, I'm telling you, like I've seen it in the past. Like so many people make that silly mistake and just write me this. Okay. So remember the formula, the actual formula is 2 times W plus 2 times the length. 2 times the width plus 2 times the length. Okay, or you can just do this plus this plus this plus this. When you distribute it, you get this. So don't forget the distribution that we started with before the break. Okay, and then so when we move the 20 to the other side, we get this. So W equals 13. Full marks?
No.
Kavya?
W equals 13 and then L equals 20. What is that?
Yep.
Units.
Which is? Centimeters. Okay, so you got part of it, but yes, don't forget units. Word problem. Okay, and if my answer is correct, what should these add up to? My length and width. How do I check my answer?
You just plug it in. Just multiply both of them by 2.
And it should equal? Right. Okay. Remember, this was your perimeter, 72. So 13 plus 13 plus 23 plus 23 should give you 72. If it doesn't, check your work. Okay. So these were the homework questions from the break. Let's move on to the book. Chapter 4. Chapter 4, page 4. Chapter 4, page 4. Chapter 4, page 4. Oops. Okay. That's like this. So chapter 4, page 4. Y equals mx plus b. How many of you heard of this before? Good, you're ahead of the game then. What does m stand for? Slope. Wow, you guys are really ahead of the game. But can you guys tell me, describe it in words that I understand? Yep.
It's basically the what's the word? The line.
No, this is not homework. This is today's lesson.
What's the word? Line. Not the angle. But
Not the angle.
linear growth.
Linear growth. Okay, I like that. So I'm gonna say rate of change. Alright. Or in word problems. Johnson, this would be each. What's another word for each? Per, good. Or what's another word for per? Okay, every. Okay, so in word problems, you're looking for these words that will tell you what M is. What about B? What does B represent? Wow, good job. In a graph, that's your y-intercept. But what about in word problems? In word problems, what does the B stand for? Okay, is this starting value or the initial fee, initial cost, initial some
Initial something.
yeah, initial something. Okay. So all the equations now that we're gonna set up is gonna be in this format. The ones that we just did was dealing with just one variable. These ones, after we set it up, it's gonna tell us what one of the variables is. Okay. So who has a nice voice? Okay, Cheryl, can you read this question for us?
An airplane is cruising at a height of 10,000 meters. It descends to land, but this table shows the height of the plane every minute after it began its descent. The height of the airplane changes at a constant rate.
Perfect. Okay. So I want to write an equation for this scenario. Okay. So instead of x and y, what do you think are meaningful variables in this case? For m for height? Is there a better variable for height? H, right? Okay. So for height, we can use h. And what about for time? T, right? Okay, a lot of times, especially in grade 10, you're gonna do a lot of these height and time problems. What is my starting value? What is the starting value of the plane? 10,000. That's right. So this first row right here, notice it's at 0 and 10,000. That's your B value. Okay. What is my rate of change here then? 300. Okay, so if you take a look at here, in between these, T's value is 300. But, notice there's a but. Okay. Is it 300? Is not could be, but it should be. Okay. So it because your plane is going down. And so your value, your rate of change is minus 300. And notice I drew these arrows. That's called first difference. When you subtract backwards for your y value, your first difference, it should all be the same because it's at a constant rate. Okay, so now that I know what m is, I know what b is, can I write my equation?
Yes.
So what, okay, Katya, let's give it a try.
So y equals negative 300x plus 10,000.
That's it. Okay, so you see, y equals mx plus b format. I'm just replacing my m with negative 300. I'm replacing my b with the 10,000. Okay. But, okay, the question does say relate height to time. So instead of x and y, what did we say we were going to use? Yeah, t and h. So this looks better. Okay. So then you're thinking, what? Now there's two variables in the equation? Well, as I said, in grade 9, we tell you what one of the variables is. So what is the height of the plane after 15 minutes? So what should I replace? I should replace, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to replace the t with a 15. And so that's why sometimes it's much better to use meaningful letters other than x and y. So we replace the t with 15 minutes. So then h equals, I think 5,500. Okay, what's my unit here? Yep. Sorry? Meters, that's right. And you know it's not minutes because remember h represents height. So it's meters. Okay, second part of the question, how long after beginning its descent does the plane land? What does that mean? We don't know. Okay, we'll figure it out together. When the plane lands, what does that imply? Excellent. So this means height equals 0. Okay, so when height equals 0, so 0 equals negative 300t plus 10,000. Okay, before the break, we learned how to solve this. How do we solve this? Not everybody at once.
Please excuse this interruption. Could Ms. Nankevska call the main office? Ms. Nankevska to the main office. Thank you.
Okay, Carmen, can you help me with this? How do I solve this? What should I move to the left side? Okay, I want to move the variable term to the left side, so I should move. Yeah, move the t term. It doesn't matter which term you move, but so if I so Carmen, if this is negative 300t, when I move it over, it becomes positive. Good. Okay, and then Zachary, what do I do with this 300 now? By add, subtract, multiply, divide. Divide, that's right. Okay, so when I move this over, I add. When I move this over, I divide because this is 300 times t. So opposite will be divide. So I get T equals 33.3333. What's my unit here? Katya. What does T stand for again? Time. So it's minutes. Good. Yep.
Instead of having that negative 300 to the other side,
Yeah, you could.
10,000.
Yeah. And then you have negative 10,000 divided by negative 300, which will give you the same thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. If I get, let's say I missed that and I divide it by negative and I got T equals negative 33. Does that make sense? No, because you cannot have negative time. Okay. Last one. Okay, so Kelly's in a cab. It has this on the seat, on the back of the seat. Write the equation for this. Alright, so again, let's come up with some meaningful letters. Instead of X and Y, what can we use?
K.
K for okay, and
And then F for fixed cost.
and F
Alright.
F for fixed cost. Yeah, we know the fixed cost. Alright, so in what's my other variable then instead of X and Y? Alright, we're trying to write the expression for fare in terms of cost and in terms of the fixed cost and cost per kilometer. So we're trying to write for the fare and the based on the kilometers. So what instead of X and Y, what should I use? K and what?
F.
For I heard it. C for yeah, the total cost of the fare. Usually instead of K, we use D for distance. But both is okay. So who wants to try giving the equation in y equals mx plus 3, 4? Okay, Kavya.
Okay. So it's equals
Is the 3.6 m or the b? Is 3.6 m or b?
I think it's the M. I mean the B.
The b.
Sorry, stupid.
Hey.
Per.
Okay, so again, the word per tells you that that's your m, and then fixed cost is like your starting value. So once you get in the cab, no matter what, you have to pay that 360. Okay, so C equals
150x
150x
plus 360.
uh-huh,
Sorry, K plus 360.
plus 360. That's right. Okay. And then what is the fare for an 11-kilometer ride? Am I replacing the 11 for K or for C? K. Good job. So 150. Right, Ariana?
Yeah.
Okay, and I think if my math is correct, it was like 2010. What's my unit? Dollars. So again, if I just use X and Y, I might get confused with what I should replace. But because I use meaningful letters, I was able to put in easily, and I know what my unit is. All right. So, okay, for the rest of the class, I want you guys to try page 5, 6, and 7. We will take up page 5 and 6 in class towards the end of class. I'll get you guys to put up the answers, and then 7 would be homework. Okay, so try it out, try it out, try it out. So,
seven's the hardest thing.
and that's for homework. Okay, so page 5 and 6, writing in y equals mx plus b form.